Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is a series of videos thanks to Nick Rosencrans. Nick sent in a very generous donation to my PayPal, requesting 3 commentaries for all 3 of the Spider-Man Sam Raimi films, as well as a review for each film. Again, he sent in a very generous donation. I really appreciate that. If anyone ever wants to send in a donation or request via my PayPal, the link to those will be down below. If not, no worries. But thank you, Nick. Hopefully I do the justice to this. I keep stilting and hesitating my dialogue because I grew up, well, I guess we'll get into that when I start. I mean, it's a 2-hour movie, so if you're a big fan of this film, this might not be the commentary you want to watch, but here we go. 3, 2, 1, pressing play. Of course, Spider-Man movie was in development for a long while. At one point, James Cameron wanted to do it with Leonardo DiCaprio, which honestly, I would have been very curious to see the final result of that. Maybe it would have been worse to this. I don't know. Now, I read comic books when I was a kid. Mainly Spider-Man, Punisher, later on a few Ninja Turtle comics, and then Preacher. Among others, but mainly those. And I read a lot of Spider-Man comics. The issues where he was fighting the Fire Lord. And people are like, oh, there's no way you can win. But he did win. Him fighting the Juggernaut. Nothing could stop the Juggernaut, no matter what he threw at it. The bit where all this stuff's crashing on him, and he's pushing it all off to get to his Aunt May, who's sick, needs the medicine. I mean, I could tell Sam Raimi, who I do think is a talented director. I know he's doing Doctor Strange 2. I'm curious about it because I like the first Doctor Strange. And Sam Raimi, I like the Evil Dead films. I enjoyed Darkman. Darkman, I would say, is a better comic book movie than this, and Darkman isn't even based on a comic book. Darkman is a result of Sam Raimi not getting The Shadow, which he wanted to do, and they said, no, you can't have it, and he's like, screw it, I'm doing my own, and it's Darkman, which is a very solid movie. But even lately, Sam Raimi, what movies has he done worth a crap? Drive Me to Hell? No. You have a stupid fucking CGI anvil falling on someone like it was a Bugs Bunny cartoon. I would give credit to the opening sequence with the visuals, but I was never a fan of the score by Danny Elfman. I'm sorry. I mean, this is the same guy that did the score for Batman, '89. I just don't see this music as iconic compared to the theme of Superman, the theme to Batman. You know what? As much as I don't like the movie, even Man of Steel had a great musical theme. The music to Man of Steel, I gotta give credit to. And to be fair, even the Marvel films, their scores are pretty subpar. There's a lot of good Marvel movies, but like Captain America, do you remember the music in Captain America? The score-wise, do you remember the score or any themes to Iron Man? Not that dan 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 dan. Dan. So, to be fair, I would say this music is better compared to this, because at least there's a little bit of effort in here, which I don't know if I could say that for the scores to Iron Man, Captain America, all that stuff. I didn't even think of it. But for Spider-Man, it deserved a much more iconic score than this. That's just my feeble opinion. And we have Tobey Maguire narrating, and then we got Kirsten Dunst as Mary Jane. Honestly, these two are 2 of the biggest problems I have with these movies. I get what Sam Raimi was trying to do for Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. And I could see him working somewhat as Peter Parker. You know, he's nerdy, but he's good-natured. But at the same time, he's got such a dopey face. And he seems like Opie Taylor from Andy Griffith's show. I mean, I see to be or not to be Maguire, and I'm going, hey, Aunt B, when my pie's ready? Tell Aunt B I want my pies. Oh no, kick your ass. Or, did I give you permission to sneeze, Opie? Watch out and whip your ass back to Mayberry. I mean, that's, anytime I see to be or not to be Maguire, I think of that. Now, has Tobey Maguire worked in films? Yes, he did a good job in Pleasantville. I just not a fan of him, especially as Spider-Man. Maybe Peter Parker, like these early scenes, okay, but in my opinion, when he's Spider-Man, maybe a bit more confident, a bit more, quote, normal. This guy here, James Franco, honestly, he was up for Spider-Man, and I think he would have been better. People will disagree, but James Franco here, who plays the son of Willem Dafoe's character, Harry Norman Osborn here, James Franco would have made a better Spider-Man. Maybe one, because I enjoy James Franco more as an actor. Because James Franco, he did a great job in The Disaster Artist. He did a nice job in some of the films with Seth Rogen. But yeah, James Franco, I could totally see him as Peter Parker Spider-Man. I think he would have worked tremendously more. I didn't, to be or not to be Maguire, I keep harping on this. People get mad at Tom Holland and they don't like him playing Spider-Man. To me, I think he plays it much more natural. But I just see Opie Taylor. People don't know the Andy Griffith Show, don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. And I was saying I get what Sam Raimi was trying to do. Sam Raimi grew up with the comics, but when he read the comics, that's the original iteration of Spider-Man. Of course. He's going to take precedence to the golden age of Spider-Man, its origin. And so that's going to have that 50s, 60s vibe to it. I think that's what Sam Raimi did with these films. It almost seems as if he took a 50s vibe, but put into a 2002 aesthetic with the effects of the time and being in present day. But this film does seem like a 50s, 1950s mentality to it. Based on the performances, whether it be the at times very hammy acting by some of the villains like Willem Dafoe, even sometimes the music, the score, the acting performances. And this teacher is a psychopath, just the way he talks. This person who talks will fail this class. I guarantee it. I mean, are you a fucking psycho? Like, maybe this guy, this teacher, at his home life is beating the shit out of people, or beating the shit out of his wife or something, or fucking ripping off the bugs off of insects. I mean, I don't know. Or maybe he's not getting enough blowjobs at night from his lady and he's uptight. And that's another miscasting. I'm sorry, Kirsten Dunst as Mary Jane just does not work for me. Now maybe it's the way the character's written, because the character in all three of these movies, she is, I swear, dim-witted, shallow, bitchy, and bitchy. When you get to the third film, it seems as if she's going to have a fucking dominatrix outfit and put on to be or not to be Maguire's facial structure and whip his ass with a goddamn tree branch. Tell me you love me. I'll get to that when I get to that. But when I think of Spider-Man and Mary Jane is a type of person that one time in the comic book, I swear to God, in the comics, she took Peter Parker, took his camera, went to bed, and said, let's take some pictures of our own to make Peter Parker feel better. I mean, she was the type of person that says, you hit the jackpot, Tiger. She had a fire, not just her hair, but she had like a fiery personality. And here, I don't know what the fuck Sam Raimi was doing with this. I mean, I can't put it all on Kirsten Dunst's performance, although it's, I think, fairly bad. But the way it's written, and easily one of the most poorest recreations of a character. The Mary Jane in the new one isn't better, but still, sad to say, in The Amazing Spider-Man, the way Gwen Stacy was is much better than Mary Jane in any of these movies. Like, the way they had Gwen Stacy in The Amazing Spider-Man worked fairly well. Now, despite what I'm going to say with Sam Raimi, I can't denote the fact that he's talented on a technical front. And all three of the Spider-Man films, there's some really nice works with the camera, especially Spider-Man 2, when Doc Ock is throwing all the scientists around. Certain way that the camera moves, and certain ways Spider-Man's positioned, and even the costume, the full costume Spider-Man, it's a good costume. But when I don't care about the lead actor, Tobey Maguire, and even that, see, I mentioned Tobey Maguire, the dog's like, shut up, so I'll be right back. As soon as I start talking about Tobey Maguire again, the dog's like, fuck it, I'm out. Now, Willem Dafoe I like as an actor, but maybe it's because of the way he was directed by Sam Raimi. It just, when he's going all evil, it just comes off as very cartoonish, very silly, and very hammy and corny. And that's the one of the other problems with the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films. They come off as really corny. And whether people feel that's how Spider-Man movies should or shouldn't be, I guess that's the eye of the beholder. But I was talking about how Sam Raimi, he looked at Spider-Man from the 50s. Me and other people, we grew up with Spider-Man in the 90s, late 80s or 90s. And Spider-Man just seemed like an ordinary guy that we could all relate to, going through crappy situations left, right, and center. But part of me wonders if Sam Raimi wanted to do Peter Parker like he was Christopher Reeve and Superman, like Clark Kent. I mean, maybe that's not the case, but I don't know. I would not be surprised if that's part of Sam Raimi's ideals for Peter Parker, is to be Clark Kent from Superman movies. Now, to be fair, I think Aunt May and Uncle Ben, the actors chosen for them, well cast. I could buy this lady's Aunt May more than in Spider-Man Homecoming and Far From Home. Marissa Tomei's character, I mean, like, this to me screams much more of Aunt May. And then the fact that they established Uncle Ben, who's and very important to Spider-Man mythology, instead of ignoring the entire thing and the new ones. I don't know, maybe as a big Spider-Man fan, no Spider-Man film can entirely satisfy my justifications. Maybe that's the case, but oh well, so be it. I maintain that if you combine all three, if you combine some of the technical direction aspects of this film, and Spider-Man 2 especially, some Amazing Spider-Man not avenues, but some attributes like Gwen Stacy and the casting and direction of that character. And then if you put the Tom Holland as acting performance, I think if you combine all three and let Spider-Man punch, I think you would have a good thing. Or I'll just go watch the 90s Spider-Man cartoon. Although he doesn't really punch in that, which is one of the flaws of that cartoon, but I mean, to be fair, there's definitely a budget behind this, especially for the time. I know this was pushed back because of 9/11. There was a teaser that you can find on YouTube where Spider-Man webs this bad guy helicopter between the two towers. Of course, that was before 9/11, and that teaser was taken off. But again, you can find it on YouTube. But yeah, Willem Dafoe, just his character just comes off as very hammy. It doesn't help when he's going hyper over the top. His costume, which is ridiculous, straight out of a Power Ranger. Even stupid stuff like that, like he goes in, he's like, it's cold. Like, what the fuck, why? Like Willem Dafoe goes in, he's like, it's cold. It's always the same Raimi, I hate to say it, his attempt at humor in the Evil Dead films come off much funnier and more, in a weird way, natural than in this movie. I don't know what it is. It just, I complain about the comedic aspects of Far From Home, but even they are a bit more natural than the comedic attempts at here. Of course, Spider-Man himself barely has any wisecracks, because that's part of Peter Parker Spider-Man. When he becomes Spider-Man, is the wisecracking personality. Almost like a John McClane, but superhero form. Apparently there's a lot of people up for this role, including Bill Paxton. And Bill Paxton was very close in getting the role, but I don't know what happened. I mean, Bill Paxton had worked with Sam Raimi on A Simple Plan. But I don't know what happened, and they got Willem Dafoe, and maybe if they toned it down a little bit, or gave him a good costume, or something, I don't know. But honestly, a good fit would have been Michael Keaton. I mean, I know Michael Keaton would play the Vulture, but could you imagine that? Michael Keaton as the villain? It would have been almost like a interesting passing of the torch. Like the last huge comic book solo character was Batman. So here's a passing of the torch. I'm now the villain. Boom, here's to Spider-Man. And if Michael Keaton played it like, I don't know, Carter Hayes in Pacific Heights, I think Michael Keaton would have made a good Green Goblin. And not be just so corny, campy. And Pull your pants up. I can see you tie your whities. God damn it. Peeping Tom pervert. Well, she's not naked, so you're not seeing much, so who gives a fuck? And what would make him do that? What would make him just jump off the wall? I mean, he doesn't know anything has happened. Is that your normal impulse to jump off the wall? Yes, he's able to do it, but how would he even know that? Just for shits and giggles? Again, if he knew he could do that, then you'd have the impulse to jump your feet off the fucking wall. But he doesn't even know. And we got some white trash fat fuck. Didn't even have any damn shoes on. Was that a part of the comics that Mary Jane came from a white trash deadbeat dead fuck of a dad? Our idea in the Mary Jane I enjoyed in the comics was more of a fiery personality that could hold her own, and but that's because originally he had other girlfriends before Mary Jane. People like Gwen Stacy, for example. And I know this is going to be... Let me ask you a question. Does every Spider-Man need a love story? I know. I'm just saying, does every Spider-Man movie need a goddamn love story? Can we not have a Spider-Man movie? There's many Spider-Man comics I read that there's a love story in there. But every fucking Spider-Man movie has to be a fucking love story. Why? Not every goddamn Spider-Man movie has to be a fucking love story. But goddamn, do they pull that card every step of the way. Willem Dafoe after his bender. Last night I was thinking of your mother. What happened to your hair, James Franco? What happened to your poofy hair? Cut that shit or comb it. And so we're in the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type of split personality between Osborn and the Green Goblin. Which there's scenes later on that comes off fairly silly and stupid. More like just ridiculously acted. At least there he had a little bit of spider sense. I'll give credit to that. But yeah, when I look at these movies, I just go, of the three of them, I could watch Spider-Man 2 for the most part. To be fair, without trying to be over the top or funny or whatever. And at the same time, though, sad to say, I grew up loving Spider-Man comics, and then weirdly enough, after these three films came out, I kind of stopped reading Spider-Man comics. I don't want to say these three films killed my love for the character, but they kind of killed my love for the character. I mean, after these three films came out, I didn't read much Spider-Man comics since. Maybe because, again, in my mind, Spider-Man is this everyday guy, extraordinary situation. Again, the John McClane from Die Hard 1, where just without the cursing. But, you know, this idea of utilizing what the Spidey sense is doing. like I said, there's good technical aspects to this film, this scene included. That was well done. I'm not going to say this film has zero merit. And this Flash Thompson, definitely more fitting than, well, the fuck they have is Spider-Man Homecoming. I can't say I mind this scene. You know, there's some good acrobatic work, good dodging. Like, out of a movie I'm not a big fan of, I do think this is a good scene. But, and I don't mind the organic web shooter. Some people have a problem with that. I actually don't mind that idea. And it would have been fine if they continued that idea from now on. I think that would have been perfectly fine. But they didn't, so oh well. But yeah, the organic web shooters never bothered me. It probably bothered some people, but I thought, oh, that's pretty cool, and that's a change I actually don't mind at all. And if you look at the original comics, there's a lot of shots that are replicated from that. Again, to give Sam Raimi credit. You know, that shot there where he's looking at the spider web, there's a shot where Peter Parker's like far away and then you see like a spider web up close to the comic panel. And, you know, a bit when he's testing out his powers, he's climbing the wall. I just, you know what, honestly, if it was a different actor, I probably would have been okay with some of the other aspects with it. I'm just not a Tobey Maguire fan. I don't know how else to put it. If people were to say what's the number one reason that ruins the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films for you, is this fucking guy here with the woo, might as be the yippee for fucking Phantom Menace. These effects don't hold up. I mean, I know it's 2002 to be fair, but yeah, some of those effects when he's jumping off from roof to roof do not hold up in today's age. And this is where he does the whole montage thing. Sorry, I didn't say anything. I'm just watching and going. I get the idea. It, cute, you know, Shazam, all that stuff. But I don't know. I mean, there's other more cringeworthy humor. I'll admit that. But I guess, you know, how do you view Peter Parker? Do you view him as Opie Taylor, or like, how do you view him? Like, honestly, if I did a Peter Parker Spider-Man in today's age, I would have some cursing in there and like, oh shit, like he does this with, oh shit. I think that's one of the problems that Marvel had, is that Spider-Man, there's humor involved, so you can make his films humorous, but not flat out straight comedies like they're pulling off. But then they made a lot of films like comedies. They made Guardians of the Galaxy like comedies. They made a lot of even stuff in the Avengers, like Fat Thor. So just by making so many of the other Marvel films so comedic, it took any edge away from Spider-Man being, well, yeah, that's the funny superhero. Because everybody's a funny superhero. Robert Downey Jr. has his fun quips. The Hulk became Brainy Hulk and offered fucking, not hot dogs, tacos or whatever the shit. So then that takes away from, well, Spider-Man's funny, well, everybody's funny. So now you're nothing special. You're nothing special. I don't think these two have chemistry. I mean, they're not as bad as, say, Padme and Anakin from the prequels, but they're pretty fucking close, in my opinion. I never care for this love story between these two, because there's two actors I don't care about, with two performances I'm not caring for, especially Kirsten Dunst. I don't care for the dialogue that they tried to spit out to each other. I don't buy their love story. I don't buy their chemistry. It feels fake and phony and forced and fraudulent. And that's supposed to be the heart of these movies. And honestly, like a lot of things, I see, in my opinion, aspects that would make the film better. One of them being, don't have a fucking love story. Spider-Man didn't need a fucking love story. It could have just been an origin story with... But it seemed like even Batman 89, you got Vicky Vale. Superman, you got Lois Lane. But those, I bought more because I like the actors more in those. Christopher Reeve and Margot Kidder, I definitely bought more in their chemistry. Like, if you want to say this is a good chemistry, to your own. I would say compare it to Christopher Reeve and Margot Kidder. Vicky Vale, Kim Baser's not in the film much, but I like her more as an actress than fucking Kirsten Dunst. What is this? Something I never felt before. What, a boner? For you, you don't light up Broadway. Well, me, I'm still kicking. It must be on Broadway. You're taller than you look? Fine, look at my dick. Don't what? Don't talk to you? Be my fucking pleasure, lady. Now get the fuck out of here. And then the sequel's just so goddamn selfish. Me, and my. You didn't come to my show. You didn't come to my stuff. Why don't you tell me that you love me? How about you suck my dick, bitch? Fucking bitch. Bitch is what Mary Jane is. Her initials might be BS, because she's fucking full of it. MJ. Maricon Jutos. That doesn't mean, you know. See, even these cars, I mean, even the newspaper look like something from the 50s with the advertisements. I know that sounds stupid. There's his costume possibilities. Oh, so people shit on this kind of editing in 2003 Hulk, but when Sam Raimi's doing this, it's perfectly fine. Because some of this editing here, isn't this what people hated in 2003 Hulk? But they don't mention it with this movie. Oh, you can't edit it like this. Oh yeah, but you know, 2003's Hulk, you can shit on it. And yes, I like 2003's Hulk more than this. Because I think 2003 Hulk was definitely more ambitious and interesting. And I don't think the humor was cringeworthy like this, where I was practicing web stuff. I'm jerking off, Aunt May. Mind your business. And tell Aunt B my pie should be ready. This is where you get more of the Jekyll and Hyde thing. Which could work, but again, the way it's done here is, I thought, ham-fisted. Well, you'll see more of that, but a bit ham-fisted and corny. Oh my god. I think the actor who plays Uncle Ben was I want to say Cliff Robertson. And he does a good job, I gotta admit. He does a good job as Uncle Ben. And Tobey Maguire just comes off as either whiny or his voice is just so high-pitched at times, or just such a goober. Just the goober. When growing up reading Spider-Man as a kid, Spider-Man felt like someone I could relate to. But I can't relate to Tobey Maguire. I can't. His personality, the way he reacts to things, the way he talks, and maybe that's part of the reason why I'm like, if this is Spider-Man, he's not that cool. I know I'm alone in that, but I'm like, this Spider-Man is not that cool. Like, Spider-Man is the character you always think of as the cool superhero, but here I'm being a whiny bitch. Stop it, me. Stop it. Get the fuck out of the car, goddammit. Get the fuck out of the car, to be or not to be Maguire. Go back to fucking Pleasantville. And pull your fucking pants up. Goddamn lunch bag. Eat it. Or stick the banana up your ass, whatever's in there. Okay, yeah, we got the wrestling event. One of the best scenes in the movie, I'll give you that, but for one reason only. Bonesaw is ready! Macho Man Randy Savage, may he rest in peace. And then Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell and Macho Man Randy Savage. And having these two in there makes the scene a lot more fun. Of course, Macho Man Randy Savage being a professional wrestler and just having that personality, the way he delivered his dialogue and his promos, that energy he brought to it. Now, with this movie, I'm trying to figure out what the hell to say, because we're what, 30 minutes in? I mean, technically the movie, it's a 2-hour film, but pretty much 2 movies in one. The first movie is the origin. The second movie is the Norman Osborn stuff. Which I can understand doing that. But Bruce Campbell does, even the bit role he's in, he does a good job. I mean, Bruce Campbell's character gives him the name Spider-Man. I appreciate that. These fucking ladies, where are they? Nitro girls? How about I'm gonna rip off your tits? Get the fuck out of my way, bitches. $500 to D for damn, this movie sucks. Well, that's not fair. How come they have to do the cage? No one else did the fucking cage. What is this bullshit? Like, no one else does the cage except him. That's horseshit. Hey, freak show! You're going nowhere! I got you for 3 minutes! 3 minutes of playtime! And he does make a joke of Randy Savage's character. I'll give it that. Some good poses. I did the direction is not bad. If I could give credit to anything, it's the technical and direction of it. What kind of wrestling match is that? You'd use a fucking crowbar. That's like when Triple H uses the Triple H, Nipple H, fucking uses the sledgehammer, which is always horse shit. Like Jake the Snake Roberts says, if you using a sledgehammer on someone, but yet they get back up, you're fucking fake and a phony, and your character is killed. And then this is similar to how it was in the comics, where should just taking the money. I mean, it's not like he could stop you. It's not like this an establishment that's really that gun-ho. Should just taking the fucking money. But I mean, that would have made him a thief, so I can understand why you didn't do that. And similar to this, where, he lets the person go. Well, and that's the thing that was in the comics. I mean, it's not exactly how it played out, but pretty similar. And that one thing led to the death of Uncle Ben. And the fact that he could have done that, and then goes back to what Uncle Ben said before, with great power comes great responsibility. And that sort of guilt is the driving force for Spider-Man, which I think is one of the issues with the new Spider-Man. Although I really like Tom Holland as an actor much more than Tobey Maguire. I like him as a personality, as line delivery, and his facial reactions compared to Tobey Maguire. But just the story, this part here is gravely missing because it's part of the moral center of Spider-Man, and you've taken it away in the new Spider-Man and replaced it with Iron Man Jr. bullshit, which is a lot less interesting than this. That'd be like, well, make an origin for Superman, but he was a super soldier in a lab, or he was a fucking, I don't know, whatever the hell. He has the same powers and same attributes, but he was not from a planet called Krypton. He was from a fucking city named Saliva, Kansas. I don't fucking know. You don't see this a lot for the Spider-Man crying. Which, I mean, I get it. His uncle died. I get that. But you don't see him crying a lot in this series of movies. Like a big baby bitch. At least in this instance, his uncle died. It made sense. But, I don't know, just when he cried... And God, this CGI does not hold up. This CGI is pretty fucking... not that good. But again, it's 2002. Yeesh. I like the direction of the camera, but the body's very rubbery. I mean, it seemed as if he's Mr. Fantastic or Rubber Band Man. I mean, I don't... maybe it's the best they can do for 2002 when this came out, but still, I don't think this holds up as well as others. And I can still watch Superman from 1978 and Batman from 89. I still love Twister and Independence Day from 1996. It's just not just because it's an older movie. But again, his direction of the camera to follow Spider-Man this way, I appreciate and like that. I mean, how many times they fuck around with the Star Wars movies? I'm surprised they don't try to do that with a movie like this. Like, we could, improve it better. We could do a little bit thing. But I remember seeing this as a kid and being extremely excited. Saw it in the theater because I read the comics so much. And scenes like this being exciting when you're a kid. Plus, this is the first... I would say the first big action scene in the movie, which is about 47... well, when it started, 45 minutes into the movie. I'd rather if you follow the origin, you know where it's going. It's going to find out that's the guy who killed Uncle Ben, it's the guy he let get away, and... But yeah, for people to who go, well, how do you not like this film? What is you don't like about this film? I've mentioned good aspects of it, but it's just Kirsten Dunst, Tobey Maguire. My friend Mike OCP says something interesting, which I agree with. Despite what the first half of this film is maybe a little bit darker, serious at times, like this moment, but then you get some corny moments. So I don't know if it's as much of a consistent tone as it could have been. And like, you have humor, like Die Hard. Die Hard has some graphic violence, but also has some humor, but it feels consistent within its tone. Here, and of course, you make the character trip, because one of the things about Spider-Man is that he doesn't really go out to kill people. And that's another thing you don't get used to a lot. Spider-Man takes a lot in these movies. Seems like most movies, he always gotta take off his fucking mask. It's like, well, we can't identify with him if you have your mask on. So I'm like, most of the time when people read the comics, they identify with the character, and a lot of times he has his mask on. So maybe you should give the audience a little bit more credit. So I'm guessing she already knew about Uncle Ben. I would guess the cops had gone on to tell her. And now movie 1 is done. Now we got movie 2 with the Osborn stuff. I do think the performances by the actors in the new Spider-Man films are better. Michael Keaton and Jake Gyllenhaal. I do think they do a better job than Willem Dafoe in this. Like this, I'm trying to remember what this scene is. Oh yeah, Green Goblin comes in with his pumpkin bombs. Kind of a weird bit of editing. Death and destruction, and then yay, we graduated. And I like James Franco. I don't know if he works in this role. I think James Franco would have worked better as Spider-Man, and then have someone else cast in the Harry Osborn role. But again, maybe it's the way the script was written and the direction of the actors. Maybe that's part of the issue. I don't know. I mean, this is like, you look at Darkman and its tone seems consistent, and just more vibrant energy, and I just basically just want to watch Darkman now. Like, we're what, 52 minutes in, and I'm already lost interest in this fucking film. I actually, in the back of my mind thought, well, maybe I would like it more, watch it again, but I just don't think it's as great as people make it out to be. I don't think it's as fantastic. I mean, I'm perfectly fine watching Superman the movie again, and Batman 89, and Superman 2, and Batman Returns, and Blade, and yes, Daredevil with Ben Affleck I enjoy. Blade 2. This though, I mean, there he is trying again. Got any snot bubbles? Blair Witch style, or this Spider-Man's a baby. Baby bitch. But the lady who plays Aunt May, she's doing the best as she can with the material. I can't help thinking about the last thing I said to him. Yes, and I threw it in his face. Watch Mulan, man. Be up, man. Stop being a baby bitch, Spider-Man. Be a man. It's in your fucking name, Spider-Man. Be a man. Stop being a blubberbone baby bitch, man. Just be a fucking man. Be a man, stop bitching, whining, and crying, puss. Be a man, stop being a sissy under MJ's thumb. Be a man, stop being a crying bitch hole fuck face. To be or not to be, McGuire's playing a bitch. I mean, Danny Elfman's music here is not the most god-awful. I mean, I do like this terror word, like how it's swinging, going across the vehicles, and I like that. But this little montage here is... I wish there was more to it. Because it goes by very quickly. And this montage of being comedic and people talking in front of the camera. I mean, isn't this something people make fun of in the Nick Cage film Ghost Rider when they were doing that? Can we actually see Spider-Man do these fucking things? I know you have a montage, but can we see Spider-Man be fucking Spider-Man in the costume doing these things? Is that okay? Oh, okay, we finally saw a little bit of something. Oh god, this guy fucking sings like shit. I can give you a HUD. You can HUD my ass cheeks across your fucking face, and maybe you can stop singing. I mean, that's a wanty montage. Just not that satisfying. Like, okay, we're going to have Spider-Man. Let's see him do some shit. Nope. At least Superman, you actually saw him do stuff. Like, he's in scenes for more than 10 seconds. J.K. Simmons. Considered one of the best things in these three films. And they're right. Which is why they brought him back for the new Spider-Man films, because they knew that he was so good in these. J.K. Simmons. Here we got Ted Raimi. Brother Sam Raimi. And I like Ted Raimi. Sad to say, I actually want to watch the movie where it's just... Remember that movie, The Paper? With Michael Keaton? Do a movie like that, but it's J.K. Simmons, Ted Raimi. I forget the other actor's name. Plays, I think character's name is Robbie. I remember the actor, I think he was in Sister Act with Whoopi Goldberg. Like, I always want to watch the movie just about them. Just, like, those characters, like, they came alive with their acting... Even the bit roles they have. And now we're back to the lovey-dovey Peter Parker, Mary Jane Kunsten. I'm sorry, Kirsten Kunsten. Fucking goddamn bullshit vines. These two talk. You're living your dream. You're doing so good, MJ. You're doing so good. You're living out your dream. Fucking goober. Fucking goober. Goddamn goober. Yes, we did. MJ's fucking a failure at the thing called life. Goddamn humdrum. Surprised she's not fucking emo with black hair. With the way this character's been portrayed, she's gonna be a fucking cutter by the end of it. Goddamn. Fuck. You know what Tobey Maguire almost acts like? An alien trying to be a human being. with some of this stuff. You know how movies you'll have like an alien, but they're in a human skin and they're trying to fit in. If this was that plot, you could have the same performance and people would buy it. I'm like, that's not Spider-Man in my opinion. It's not Peter Parker. Yes, in a movie called Spider-Man, I would like a little bit more fucking Spider-Man. Granted, it's the first movie, it's an origin story, to be fair. I like James Franco. I don't think this plays to his strengths as an actor. Being a role that's just a bunch of whispery whispers and just talking like this and, hey, how's it going, Peter? And my father's over there. Oh my god, man. Maybe this is an aspect they could have played off more, where maybe Willem Dafoe thinks of Peter Parker as a son more so than Harry. They're kind of thinking about that a little bit, but maybe they could have played off a little bit more. That one bit there, that's a good usage of his acrobats. I'll give credit to that. This scene here. Although some of these pictures, I'd be asking, how the fuck can you get some of these, how can you get some of these angles? Like the picture of Spider-Man on the building, how the fuck would anyone even get that picture? Like any person with a brain cell would ask questions about how the fuck do you even get angles on this stuff? Of course, nowadays you'd be like, are these doctored photos? You make this up with a computer scooter? I do like J.K. Simmons, I'll admit that. He does really encapsulate J. Jonah Jameson. And this lady here, that was one of Peter Parker's early girlfriends. I want to say Betty Brant. I try to remember the actress. I swear I recognize her. They could have gone with that for a first girlfriend. You didn't have to go straight to MJ. But whatever. God, this film feels a lot fucking longer than I remember. I don't know what it is. Just... I'm sorry, Will Dafoe, just the way he's like, what? I don't know why that made me laugh. It's not meant to be funny. I don't know what it is. Yeah, I can't tell you why the fuck I laughed at that. Just his facial, like, strut reactions. I don't know, just... Part of me wonders just... Willem Dafoe... Willem Dafoe's just trying too hard in this. Jack Nicholson, Gene Hackman, others, they just felt more natural in their evil. Here it just, again, seems a bit more forced. You're out of the ball game. You're out of the picture. Norman, now get the fuck out. Yeah, you're out. They just said it, dipshit. Now get the fuck out. Oh, we got the parade with a shitload of fucking balloons. Now I think about it, one of the things I remember about this film is the soundtrack. A hero to save us. I'm not gonna get in his way. Oh my god, I forgot she was in this. That fucking singer. Macy. What the fuck was her name? Can't remember her damn name. Macy Gray or something. A lot of people love it. It's a 7.3 on IMDb. But I mean, if I made a list of top 20 superhero movies, even... Okay, if I think of superhero films, I enjoyed Doctor Strange more than this. I enjoyed all three Captain America films more than this. I enjoyed Iron Man more than this. I enjoyed The Punisher with Dolph Lundgren, The Punisher with Thomas Jane, Daredevil with Ben Affleck more than this, Constantine more than this, Blade and Blade 2 more than this. Even Spider-Man 2, I do think is a better sequel than this. There, you know, his eyes ready to cry again. If he didn't get his Spidey sense tingling, he would have fucking cried some more. I'm looking at... Okay, I was popping up the trivia, but here we're getting the Green Goblin attack on the parade. Are you guys a bunch of fucking morons? At least they do have a sense of Spidey's, of the spider sense in this. Again, to be fair and give credit where credit's due, that's what I mean, like a combination of all three of these iterations of Spider-Man. If you combine all of them, I think you'd have something. That's why people go, well, what's the best Spider-Man? I don't know. Like Spider-Man movie, because they all have their issues and their strengths. There's Stan Lee. Rest in peace, Stan. Stan the man. Glad no one saw that. No one saw the fucking webs come out of him. There's the Superman moment. Da, 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 da. That's you can't tell me. I guarantee you Sam Raimi was inspired by Superman for this. Now, that goblin bomb, how did that not kill Mary Jane? Because it was right in front of her, but it just killed the people over here, not the people over here. And that's what I mean by the cornball moments. That's Spider-Man. No shit. I thought it was the fucking Barney the dinosaur. I thought it was Max the Medictian. Who's that? I don't even fucking know. Then this fucking stupid kid just staring at him. I just want to die. This is suicide. It's a suicide. I'm just going to stand here while this thing falls on me. I'm not going to run. That's shitty parenting. And then we got fucking Power Ranger. Goddamn Power Ranger here. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a Green Goblin. Where's the fucking Megazords? And the CGI doesn't hold up. Uh, but, oh my god. Nah, that's still dispute with that one lady. It's Spider-Man! No shit! There is Din's ass whipped. Again, it's almost as if trying to be the... For some reason, this reminds me of the... when Superman is saving Lois from the helicopter. When he saved Mary Jane here. I don't know why that came to mind, but it just did. It'd be it'd be funny if people go, holy shit, he just kidnapped that girl. Because they don't know who Spider-Man is. They'd be like, where the fuck is he taking her? Why is he taking her away? Oh my gosh, Spider-Man is kidnapping her. Call the cops. Kidnapped her. A friend? God, cornball bullshit. When she asked, who are you? For a second, I thought I was going to say a friend. Just man did. God damn. Watch this again. I didn't realize just how much Sam Raimi just really stole from fucking Superman the movie. Sam Raimi stole a lot from fucking Richard Donner's movie. Now I'm looking at the trivia. Hugh Jackman revealed that he was supposed to have a brief cameo as Wolverine. He actually showed up in New York to film the scene, but the entire plan was scrapped when the crew could not get access to the Wolverine costume. Then that's bullshit. You get a fucking t-shirt and a pair of pants. You put his hair up. I think people would fucking put two and two together. Because X-Men was 2000. This was 2002. His costume was just a black suit, leather suit. And why? It's not like he would be wearing that just willy-nilly. Could have had any fucking clothes on. You just have some makeup for the mud chops and the hair. Maybe even a cigar. I mean, so that's a fucking stupid excuse. Tobey Maguire said he never read a Spider-Man comic, but he took the role because he liked the script. I'm not really surprised because he doesn't scream anything Spider-Man to me. Even as Spider-Man, he's trying to be like the ready to go truth, justice, and the American way of Superman. It's like, it's almost like Sam Raimi wanted to put Superman's attributes onto Spider-Man. Oh, this is where we get into that goddamn... the Jekyll and Hyde stuff. Again, that weird shot, Willem Dafoe just looking at all these different mask after mask after mask. And here's Willem Dafoe just going over the top. To do what you can't. Move those in your way. The board members. You killed them. We killed them. We? Remember your little accident? The performance enhancers. Vito. Your greatest creation. Britain, you always wanted. Power. Beyond your wildest dreams. It's only the beginning. There's only one who can stop us. Or imagine if he joined us. What, to the dark side of the fucking force? Christ almighty, man. See, the first film to gross $100 million in its opening weekend alone. At the time, no movie had done so, even when adjusted for inflation. One of the reasons Sam Raimi was a popular choice for Sony, for the director's did, was because he was an avid comic book collector in his private life with a collection of over 25,000. By signing on for 2 sequels, Tobey Maguire secured himself for a $26 million paycheck. The few attempts that Spider-Man tries to do wisecracks, Tobey Maguire just doesn't have the voice, the delivery of it. Hey, let mom and dad talk, son. And then, like, knocking gas? Is this like the fucking Adam West Batman and Robin show? I remember one time Kevin Smith talked about this film. I think it was in a book I read. And he talked about how he had seen this movie, and this scene in particular, it just looked like 2 action figures talking with each other. But I can see that. Especially this fucking awful costume, man. Awful costume. And did they ever establish why the costume looks like this? For their weapon, their military weapon? Did they ever mention why the face is like this? Like, where did this come from? Why it looks like this? Was that ever brought up in the equation? Like, why would the military weapon look like this with this face? And on YouTube, you can find a mask that they were working on that actually looks like the Green Goblin. Not this fucking action figure. And where did this whole "I want you to join me" shit come from? Was that ever established that, like, that one throwaway line of maybe we could have him join us? Why? Again, why? Why is that even a thought process for Osborn or the Green Goblin to join for? Hey, Spider-Man, when you join us? Again, why? Why is that the case? Again, why use that shitty costume? I'm sorry. Like, Spider-Man's costume is good. I mean, if I had to be fair, I would say this is the best Spider-Man costume of any of the Spider-Man movies. So, I know I've been writing on the film a lot, but I mean, positives, I mentioned some of the directing techniques of Sam Raimi. Utilizing the camera. J.K. Simmons. I just mentioned the usage of the Spidey sense. The usage of I just said it. What the fuck? Wow, I am going brain dead. I just said the other thing. What the fuck was it? Well, there you go. See the Spidey sense. The costume. The costume. But I'm sorry, these two, I don't see the chemistry between these two. I'm sorry, I don't. Oh, now she says tighter. But I don't buy her calling him tighter. Like, it just makes you go, why the fuck are you calling him tighter? Other than the fact that was in the comics. But the way she has portrayed this character, does she seem like the type of person that would call someone tighter? This, not quite mousy, but berated by her old man and working a waitress job. And I would say the sequels, she became more of a shallow character. Just when I'm saying all this stuff, I'm basing on the 3 films. Maybe not this one film in particular. And then, you know, Spider-Man actually punches in this movie. Which says a lot. I mean, they won't have Spider-Man punch that way in the new ones. It's funny, I keep saying, oh, this was done better here than in the new ones. This is done better here than the new ones. But the biggest thing, if you took Tom Holland and you put him in this movie, maybe I would like this film and go, it has its flaws, but I liked it. That might be it. If you took Tom Holland and you put him in this film, and you took the girl who played Gwen Stacy in The Amazing Spider-Man, and you put her in this film, and you took Michael Keaton from Far From Home and put him as Green Goblin in this film, I think if you did those 3 things, this film would be a lot better. But those 3 things are huge detriments to this flick. Because those are your 3 primary characters. Those are the 3 primary actors. Of course, you got the upside down Spider-Man kiss, which was referenced many upon many times. To me, I'm just thinking, man, you must, your nose is going to be, fucking nose going to be bleeding if you keep that up. Or you don't have one hell of a headache. Emma Stone, that's who played Gwen Stacy. Yeah, if Emma Stone played, I think maybe of the script as well. Maybe that's part of it too. So looking at the trivia some more. David Fincher was asked to direct. His version would have told the origin story in the opening credits and would have been based on the night Gwen Stacy died. That would have been interesting. Maybe that would have been an interesting flick. Of course, Spider-Man here. Save the day, save the baby. Sorry, I'm being silent. I'm looking. Let's see. Sam Raimi hoped to use more traditional effects for the film, but John Dykstra explained to him that Spider-Man's flexibility and agility meant that such stunts would be near impossible to physically enact, and so Raimi decided to use CGI. Like, what? Even that moment, I'm like, what the fuck? Why does when Green Goblin turn, you hear this woman shrill? Is that part of his fucking costume too? He hit a button and, okay, this button, women scream. Ah! Oh my god. It's you, out Gobby. Out of your mind. And you're out of time for your shenanigans, motherfucker. Get the fuck out of my face. Here we got a little battle here, which I don't mind the look of this. Two-piece combo, punch, bring you back kick. I don't mind that. That's a weird transition. Just have the flames pop up, and now Willem Dafoe looks like he's either coming in his pants or just coming down from some heavy drugs. The fuck? Fruitcake? You brought a fucking fruitcake? You cheap bastard. Rich as fuck and he brings a fucking fruitcake. You're rich as fuck, you bring a fucking fruitcake? Bunch of horse shit is that? Willem Dafoe just gives like the I'm gonna fuck you eyes to Mary Jane. So I'm gonna fuck you. Hey Mary Jane, I'm gonna fuck you. Okay, lock the door. Oh, okay, it's too late. Okay, technically why does he just take one hand and do this? Because the other three would still hold him up. You get what I mean? Like his legs and his arm would still hold him up. He could just do this. Keep that hand, do this to cover the blood. I mean, you could have done that. You don't need all four on there. But yeah, just saying. Oh god, we got a half hour left. Holy shit. And Willem Dafoe just giving her the death glare because Aunt May slapped his hand. I'm gonna cut you up, fool, you old bitch. Fucking Aunt B. Why the fuck would you not put a bandage on that cut? Like literally, you have this big gash. Would you not even try to put any fucking bandages on there? Are you shitting me? Get a fucking towel or something. Just put a fucking bandage. Literally, if you have this big thing, would you just be like, just get a fucking bandage. Hell, use your fucking web. You got web? Maybe that'd be a fucking bandage. Christ. No, we gotta do that, otherwise how will Willem Dafoe know? That's a bunch of bullshit. Dad, what you doing? God, Willem Dafoe, man. I love him as an actor, but he's one of those actors you gotta use him the right way. Because you can either go to the platoon route, you know, that great job, or you're going to the Speed 2 Green Goblin territory. I didn't. James Franco didn't even do anything wrong. And she's, she'd be pissed at him, not at fucking Harry. James Franco didn't do anything wrong. And now Willem Dafoe is talking to a fucking mask. And actually framing it as if the mask is talking to him. That'd be like me and my fucking hat, and I put the hat there, and I'm talking to it as serious as I'm supposed to, and then I cut to the fucking hat. Would you not laugh? Oh yeah, this is the explosion where Aunt May, little old woman, somehow survives this explosion. I don't know how the fuck she survives this. Now Green Goblin's gonna rape her or something? Oh, Green Goblin's gonna give her a raping. Now that would be a twist. She's pregnant with his baby! Considering some of the soap opera shit in part 3, I'm surprised they didn't go that route. Well, I mean, not really. Putting rape in a Spider-Man movie would be a bit much. Remember, oxygen in use, no smoking. That's what I get from this scene. Oxygen is in use, so no smoking. Aunt B, are my pies ready yet? Aunt B, are my fucking pies ready? Yep, you fucking bitch, motherfucker. I'm sorry Uncle Ben is fucking gone to the fucking highway of fucking afterlife. Give me my fucking pies already, bitch. What the fuck you doing, lady? Just laying there on your fucking back doing fucking nothing all. Unfucking believable. You should be sorry, you fucking bitch, to be a not to fucking be Maguire, you fucking crybaby fucking bitch. Baby. Big fucking baby. Baby. Bitch. Sam Raimi and John Dystro worked hard to plan all the web slinging sequences, which Raimi described as ballet in the sky. The budget rose from 70 million to around 100 million. It took in 43.6 million in its second day of release, which at the time was the Guinness Book of World Records highest box office gross in a single day. The theatrical release of the movie ends with Aerosmith's cover of the theme from Spider-Man that we heard on the official soundtrack. For the DVD release, it was changed to the original rendition of the theme. Oh, so they were cheap as fuck. Nope, can't have the Aerosmith, we gotta have something else. Blues song "Somebody Else" was originally written for the to be the theme for a different superhero, Superman, for the TV series Smallville. Really, that song? I remember that song because I remember the soundtrack. Why can't I be somebody else? Somebody who wants to be beside me. That was supposed to be for Smallville? Wow, that was going to be the Smallville theme. Huh. When James Cameron was developing Spider-Man for the early 90s, Charlie Sheen actively campaigned for the role, apparently to James Cameron's disinterest. After Titanic, Cameron said his only choice was Leonardo DiCaprio before he eventually passed on to other projects. Pre-production planning for Spider-Man began in 1986 for Canon Films. Later, Canon sold the production rights to Carolco Pictures. Carolco would later sell the production rights to Sony. Sony and Marvel produced the Spider-Man film we see today, released through Sony's Columbia Pictures division. Stan Lee said in a radio interview that he thought John Cusack would be the perfect choice to play Spider-Man Peter Parker. I would have been curious to see John Cusack. You know, compared to Tobey Maguire, I would pick John Cusack over Tobey Maguire, but I think John Cusack is a better actor. Kate Hudson and Tara Reid were considered for the role of Mary Jane Watson. Nicolas Cage, John Travolta, and Bill Paxton were considered for Norman Osborn. This film is based on a crossover of both the Ultimate Spider-Man comic series and the original Amazing Spider-Man series. For instance, the incarnation of Mary Jane Watson is from Ultimate Spider-Man number 1, while this version of Green Goblin is from Amazing Spider-Man number 17. Maybe because I never read Ultimate Spider-Man. Maybe that's the thing. Never read Ultimate Spider-Man. Back in 1988, Albert Pujon was hired to direct Spider-Man for Canon Films. He said that his movie would have featured the origin of Spider-Man, Dr. Kirk Connors, aka the Lizard, as the film's main villain. Most of the film would have been featured in the sewers of Brooklyn, where Spider-Man would chase after and fight with the Lizard. His plans fell through when Canon Films went bankrupt. Although they play high school seniors, Tobey Maguire was 26, James Franco was 23, and Kirsten Dunst was 20. On 2014 edition of the Pete Holmes Show, Joe Manganiello, who I guess was in the film, revealed that he was offered $100 by two crew members to actually punch Tobey Maguire in the face during their fight scene. Fearing that he would never work again, he did not do it. Guess those crew members thought Tobey had a punchable face. I don't blame him. There you go, there's a Superman reference. Let's see. Just looking at the other trivia. Let's see. Not really, not much. Yeah, sorry I'm being silent. I'm looking at the end. Okay, here we go. In 1993, James Cameron was hired to rewrite an existing draft for Spider-Man for Terrical Pictures. It was going to feature Liz Allen as Peter Parker's love interest instead of Mary Jane Watson, and the villain was Doc Ock. Unlike the comics, Octavius was a professor who would be a mentor to college senior Peter Parker. And Otto called himself Professor Octopus after his 4 mechanical arms become accidentally fused to his body. During an accident, Octavius turns to Professor Ock when he's bitten in the back of the neck by the same spider that turns Peter into Spider-Man. To make the film more kid-friendly, the company had Doc Ock constantly use the phrase "okie dokie." I'm sure Cameron would nix that. And Ock had an assistant. Yeah, Cameron wrote a new draft several years later that featured Peter Parker as a high school senior in love with Mary Jane Watson. Spider-Man would fight 2 villains, Electro and Sandman. The script was much less family-friendly. Cameron had intended to cast Lance Henriksen. I actually consider Lance Henriksen as the villain and Michael Biehn as Peter Parker. But then thought Leo DiCaprio would be Peter Parker and Michael Biehn would be... what character? I think they'd have Michael Biehn be Sandman and Lance Henriksen be Electro. Leonardo DiCaprio? More of an R-rated Spider-Man? Michael Biehn and Lance Henriksen as the villains? Why didn't we get that fucking movie? I want to see that fucking movie. Then we get to this where, you know, Spider-Man is rescuing a couple fucking kids I don't care about. Well, that's not fair. To be honest, that's not fair. Yeah, I keep saying that the effects don't hold up the best. Definitely that rubbery, cartoonish look to the CGI. So now we get the choice that the Riddler had in Batman Forever for Batman. Remember in Batman Forever when the Riddler, you had Robin and you had Nicole Kidman's character? Only here it's Mary Jane or a shitload of kids. I made my choice. I want the pussy. That'd be hilarious. I want the pussy. But that is a good shot with the reflection in both of the Spider-Man eyes. Like I said, there's some good directorial touches. And he's not in time. Crash. All the kids are dead. You fucked up, Spider-Man. That would have been ballsy if during that scene, because it's on a bridge, a woman is falling. People who read Spider-Man comics, you'll think of, and it involves the Green Goblin, you think of Gwen Stacy, in which Spider-Man saves her, but then her neck is broken. Could you imagine if that happened, if Spider-Man saved Mary Jane, but her neck was broken? That definitely would have brought some even more merit to the finale of this. Yeah, trust me, I kissed you even though you didn't know me. That's later I'll sexually molest you. Sucker punching bitch. Goddamn Green Goblin sucker punching motherfucker. Kick his ass, Seabass. Come on now, get the sucker punching bitch. How about you fight like a man? Bullshit, you wouldn't catch that. That's another thing about these Sam Raimi Spider-Man films. They would always have these just random people talk. Random outsiders looking on and giving their 2 cents as if I give a shit. He's gonna make it. He's not gonna make it. Why should I give a fuck about you two nobodies? And speaking of which, for the New Yorkers, I get the idea, but yeah, that would never happen. I'm sorry. You would not just have random people going, you mess with us, you mess with all of us, fuck you. You know, that would never happen. It'd be hilarious if Green Goblin's like, fuck you guys, just blew everybody away who was talking smack. You don't talk shit to me? Anyone want to say any more? You're vaporized with a V for vendetta. Move. Yeah, blown the fuck back. No one was ready to get knocked the fuck out. And Spider-Man gets beaten the fuck up here. Not much to say other than Spider-Man just getting the shit kicked out of him. That's really all that's been happening for like the past couple minutes. Okay, his ass is tit, his ass is tit, his ass is tit. You got more than just your fucking webs, man. I can't take you seriously with that stupid fucking mask. Just looks silly and stupid. Just looks ridiculous. Okay. Drops a bunch of bricks on him. Okay, what else is he going to do? Okay, he dropped a bunch of bricks on him. Okay, what else? Well, he does punch him a couple times, at least there's that. I think this is going to be the end of the fight, and then he stupidly tries to kill him and he gets out of the way. Really not much of a fight. I mean, it's mainly just Peter Parker getting his ass whipped and then dodging. I would never hurt you. Why? Why wouldn't he ever hurt you? You guys have barely had words together. You count on one hand how many words you've had together. Like maybe if this was a character that was in the background and didn't come into like part 2 or part 3, maybe, but been like a follow to him, really? Is because of a handful of conversations we've seen? You haven't really built that up either. Yeah, you haven't really built that up to be that effective. And they're trying to be like silly, like, oh, and then he gets impaled. And trying to be like funny, or I don't know how else you want to put it. Then 5 minutes later, hey Harry, I need to tell you something. Your father was a bitch, and his name was the Green Goblin. Don't tell Harry. I mean, if you think about it, but that's bullshit. Bullshit. Should've just fucking left him there and said, fuck you, buddy, sorry. Because now you simply made the situation worse. If you just left him there, then yeah, Harry would be pissed, but then he wouldn't be like, I need to kill him, and then he would not have become the Green Goblin. He wouldn't have had a hatred for Spider-Man. We wouldn't have Spider-Man 3. So you fucked up because of your stupid ass not leaving him there. Now we have Spider-Man fucking 3 with Harry being the fucking another Green Goblin. But it did that just to have this whole thing with the idea of the story where his best friend hates his alter ego. Like, he loves Peter Parker, but he hates Spider-Man. That's the dynamic they're setting up. But the way it's written and the way the performances are given out, it's just not as effective as it could have been. And there's Peter, Tobey Maguire with his sourpuss face. Like someone farted. Which is funny because the whole point of this is that he walks away to keep her safe, and then the next one, they fall in love, they become an item. So the whole walking away was kind of fucking pointless in this. But like I said, does every Spider-Man movie need a fucking love story? Only one person you're thinking of, Elvis Presley. Yeah, but you guys have no chemistry. I don't give a shit. Miss Firecrotch. It's like people don't talk like this in something called the real world, and not the fucking reality show. That's the thing with this. People don't talk like this in the real fucking world. They talk like this in maybe Lifetime channel movies or soap operas. That's the thing with Sam Raimi, like the writing of these films, they feel like they belong in soap operas. I mean, if you just give it that shitty look of a soap opera, like General Hospital as the world turns, or Guiding Light, or where the hell, it would be a glorified soap opera. I mean, yeah, you describe stuff as soap opera, right, and they can be well done, but here I'm not describing it in any good ways. There's so much to tell. I'm dumping your ass. Goodbye. Mary Jane Watson is not this needy bitch who needs a guy. Not needy. She's the spunky, the tough, she's not this fucking leaf that if you, she don't break apart. It's funny. I'm surprised all the fucking SJWs aren't pissed about movies like this. Oh, somehow that kiss just reminds her of Spider-Man. Yeah, this is my curse too. Your baby man. Go cry some more, man. Oh shit. I did nice camera work. I appreciate the way I say camera work, but oh, we got the American flag. This is not Superman carrying the flag, man. Oh, Flash Thompson. That's who Joel Manganiello is. Flash Thompson. Okay. Bill Nunn. That's the guy from Sister Act. I forgot J.T. Simmons is not in this film a lot. Only a handful of scenes. Lucy Lawless was the punk rock girl. Wow. I mean, she was Xena. She worked with Sam Raimi produced. But Lucy Lawless was the punk girl? Huh. Michael Moore. Oh, okay. Probably not that Michael Moore. Second assistant director. Alec Gillis Tom Woodruff Jr. worked on some of the costumes, huh? Oh, here is the song, Chad Kroeger, I believe. So high, I can see heaven. You know what? I actually like the song. I will admit, I still like the song. And I like Nickelback. I know. I like the song. That hero could save us. I'm not gonna stand in his way. To the wings of an eagle, fly away. Oh, sorry, now I'm just listening to the song. Obviously, you can't hear it. But, yeah, that's the end of Spider-Man 2002. Again, for people who are like, why the fuck did you do this? Because a guy named Nick generously gave me a donation to my PayPal, asking me to do commentaries and reviews for all three of these Spider-Man films. And that's what I'm going to do. So, Nick, hopefully this was alright for you. If not, I apologize. It's hard to do commentaries when you yourself haven't worked on the film, obviously. And as you can tell, this is not the worst movie ever. No. But I can't say I'm a big fan of the movie. It has its moments. It has its positives. The costumes, the use of Spidey sense, J.T. Simmons, the song. But at times it's either too corny or it's too hammy, cornball, or different ideals of Spider-Man, meaning he views Spider-Man differently than what I do. So a different point of view. And that fight at the end was pretty lame, pretty lackluster of a fight, of a battle. It's basically Spider-Man gets his ass kicked and he does a couple things. Oh, this song sucks. This other song. This is like a shitty fucking rap song. I don't know. Like, no one fucking remembers this goddamn song. I'm gonna wait for a minute. What the fuck is this song called? They'll say in the chorus. God. The score by Danny Elfman. I've heard way worse musical scores, but I think Spider-Man deserves like a big iconic score, and I don't think Danny Elfman pulled it off with Spider-Man. I didn't. Even Man of Steel's score I thought was really good. Rock is where we live. Rock is what we live about. What we live for. Come on and shout it out. Oh, here's the soundtrack. We got music. When It Started by The Strokes. What We're All About by Sum 41. That sucked. Oh, well, now we have the original Spider-Man theme. Hero by Chad Kroeger. I do like that song. So in the theatrical cut, this would have been the Aerosmith one. Probably the one from the 90s Spider-Man cartoon. Just curious if there's anything after the credits, since I've gone this far. But yeah, I want to thank people for all 3 of you that saw this. Thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. I'll try to do this all in one night and probably upload it the same day. Try. And thank you once again, Nick. I appreciate it. Take care, and we will see you in the next video. Later.